Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel. Elden Ring is being released to the entire world in just a couple of hours, but before you get in there and decide which class you're starting with, I want to give you a rundown of what they all were in a really simple term for all of us new players to the Souls franchise. I'm going to go over each of the classes briefly, explaining what they're generally about and what their early game focus is on, and then I'm going to explain to you which one I'm using and why. If you do go on to enjoy the video or want to stay tuned for more Elden Ring content, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for now though. Let's get into it. When picking your class, you will be focusing on different stats that these characters have. So if you're not sure what the stats mean, please refer back to my video from yesterday, which goes over exactly what all the stats are, explained for us new players to the Souls franchise who don't really need the overcomplicated stuff when it comes to stats. So if you want to check out that video first, I would recommend it. Then you can come back and see which of the classes might be best for you. The first class I want to speak about is the Vagabond. Starting at level 9, this is one of the higher leveled starting classes with a lot of points in its vigor, but other than that, generally well balanced stats in all of the other areas. This is what Souls people call a quality build class, which means all the stats are generally even and you can go whichever direction you want or keep everything around the same so nothing is more powerful than the other. A lot of players are saying this is one of the better classes to start with for new players because this is very well rounded and you can just focus on every element of the game rather than specifically honing one or two skills. Its starting equipment include the longsword, halberd, which is a type of melee weapon, and a heater shield. The next class I want to speak about is the hero class, focusing more on strength as well as endurance and vigor stats being pretty high, and this is if you are a really big fighter, you want heavy weapons and you want to go in swinging, this is going to be the class for you. Its starting equipment include the battle axe and leather shield. Next up is the warrior class, and this is kind of like the opposite of the strength class where it's focusing more on lighter weapons, faster movement, and has generally good stats in everything but more of a dexterity focused. So warrior is if you want to go for a dexterity build, hero is if you want to go for a strength build. These are the two different types of the more simple melee classes. The warrior starting equipment include the dual wield scimitars and the riveted wooden shield. Astrologer is the class for a more standard casting mage sorcerer type build. It has a higher focus on mind, dexterity and intelligence, which are all the things you're going to need for this type of class, focusing on glintstone sorceries. Its starting equipment includes a short sword, astrologer's staff, scriptural wooden shield, and in terms of its starting spells, it has the glintstone pebble and glintstone arc. Bandit then comes in as your more thief type playstyle, a very standard class you'd expect in other games. This is high dexterity and arcane, which is better for fast movements, quick kills, and also upping your discovery so you can loot better items. Its starting equipment include the great knife, buckler shield, and a short bow with some bone arrows for a little bit of longer range engagement. The samurai class is up next, and this one is a pretty well balanced class itself, taking itself a little bit away from any of the casting elements with intelligence or faith, and putting more focus on dexterity, strength, and generally good balanced stats on vigor, mind, and endurance as well. The main stat for this one though is actually dexterity, which is a slightly bit higher, and this is for those of you who want to have pretty much a primarily melee focus in your games with fairly balanced and quality stats throughout all of them, but not wanting to focus on the magic side. The samurai starting equipment include an ichikatana, which is a form of katana, a longbow with arrows and fire arrows, and then a red thorn round shield. This is actually going to be the class that I choose to start with when I play my first playthrough of Elden Ring. The reason for it is not only because I love samurai in the ancient Japanese era, but also because I think this is a pretty good class of what I personally want to focus on in my first playthrough, which is the melee combat side of things. I'm not too fussed about the sorceries or the miracles that come with faith or intelligence, but instead I want to focus on the melee weapons and bows as well, because I feel like they could be an interesting element into this game. So samurai is going to be the class that I personally start with when I play my first playthrough. And remember, if you want to see that playthrough, I will be streaming it live over on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING, so go check me out over there if you want to see this playthrough starting when the game drops. Prophet is the next class, and this one is very similar to an astrologer, which focuses on intelligence, but instead focuses on the faith element of spells. So you'll be focusing on the incantations and miracles rather than the glintstone sorceries that the astrologer would focus on more. This pretty much comes down to the preference of whether you'd want the sorceries or whether you'd want the miracles, and Prophet is the one you'd want to lean towards if you're thinking more miracles. Its starting equipment is the short spear, rickety shield, heal, catch flame, and finger seal. Prisoner is the next class, and actually one of the more interesting ones I found. It tends to be a bit more of an assassin, stealthy type class with a lot of magic use in there as well, and hence it focuses a lot on dexterity and intelligence, though I do think you could go a mage route with this as well. Its starting equipment include the S-Stock, which is a form of shield, its rift shield, glintstone staff, and magic glint blade. Confessor is one of the other unique classes here within Elden Ring and focuses a lot on the faith side of things, similar to the Prophet but not as much, but having good balance in the strength and dexterity areas as well, meaning you have that melee type combat aspect as well as the mage based route as well with faith. Its starting equipment include a broadsword, urgent heal as one of its spells, blue crest heater shield, assassin's approach and finger seal. The final class is going to be the Wretch, which is one of the most unique and has a very specific reason that you'd want to play it. As a level 1 with 10 in every stat, it doesn't focus on anything specifically and instead leaves you up to level up and pick what you want to focus on more. This is a blank slate type of character that you do if you're doing some sort of challenge or if you just want to work on everything from a very base and even level. This definitely will give you more of a challenge being a level 1 and not having any real strength in something specific, and only starts with a wooden club, so you're definitely going to suffer in the early game. That's going to cover all the classes then, guys, and to go over the reasons that you might want to pick them. It depends on what kind of mentality you want to go into the game with, but for the most part I think Vagabond is a really solid starting class for new players like us. I'm personally leaning Samurai just a little bit more, but part of that is just a little bit of bias on my part, and I think some other ones, if you want to focus more on strength or dex or casting, you can pick from what I've said about which ones might be tailored more towards your focus. That's going to take us to the end of the video, guys, and if you did enjoy, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING, see this live gameplay of Elden Ring when it drops, and help me along the way, because again, I am new to the Souls franchise, guys. I would love your input. If you're a veteran or if you're a new player like me, we can learn together. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.